One of the greatest books of all time. I read it in Ireland when I was on vacation, and that was a little while ago. But I wanted to have finished the book by the time I left Ireland, and I did, even if it was on the plane. It actually ended up working out because we went to Hoth and then left, and then I read the last chapter about Hoth. So it was really just, it actually worked out being this very like sort of poetic kind of exit. Characters, 5. They're the most explored characters in literature. There's nothing I can say about them that hasn't been said by a bunch of people a lot smarter than me. Fantastic. I'm also doing this review a little bit more. Obviously, I am biased towards this book because of its history, and I'm also critical of it in a different way than I am in sort of modern literature. When I do books that are older, the bar is just kind of higher. So if I give like a modern book really high marks, a 5 character in a book that isn't one of the best books of all time is different than a character 5. So I almost want to give it a 6 out of 5 because the characters are insanely explored and so deep, and they have these huge thoughts. It blows through the scale. The plot, however, I can't say the same about. I gotta give it like a 4. I mean, I almost gave it a 3.5, but it's a soft 4 because it is just a day in Dublin. What a day it is. What a perfectly normal, human, but also extraordinary experience. The plot doesn't leave a lot to be desired, but there's also not a lot of plot there. It's definitely 2 guys going about their day and having an intensely human experience. The plot's also not the point. The point of the book, in a lot of ways, is having to do with the analogous nature of a normal day and a hero's day. Hence the title, because the book's, obviously, the book is a pile of references. Great references, a lot of references that went over my head, but the ones I caught were mwah! The style is a 5. There is so much humor and sadness and joy, and there's so much life in the book that it's worth the work. I get that there's work. Hot damn, the style. He mimics every like style of modern literature and probably makes some too. I don't have a PhD in all this. Every chapter almost is its own style. Like, I mean, the end is nuts. I mean, there's a lot of like him thinking and a lot of stream of consciousness stuff, but at the end, hot damn, wow. And then there's the wind and the way he does all of the like stuff with each chapter mirroring stylistically where we are in, the Homerian sense. It's a different kind of reading because I've never read anything like this. You're reading it for Joyce. This is such a pretentious example, but it's like looking at a Pollock. Like, it's just chaos, but it's subconsciously intentional in a way that I can't even describe. And that's all I can say, which brings me to theme. And the themes of the book are so many. I can't give it a 5. I gotta give it a 4. There's just so many symbols. There's just so much going on, and in terms of how he felt about Ireland and how Ireland felt about itself, and the people there from Dubliners that are also in this, and the themes are so big that I can't even. The book's better than I am. That's really all I can say, which is the only reason why I'm not just giving it 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Like, it's the most famous book ever. But that doesn't mean that I am not bored at times. The pacing ain't great. I have the guide. Like, I have every single page explained, but I couldn't do it. Because if you're not willing to do the type of reading that he demands of you, the book will drag, and I couldn't. I was on vacation, so cut me some slack. There were parts of it that you're just like, get to the point, but the point is the journey, and the journey is the destination, and all that crap. That doesn't mean it wasn't slow at times, and even people that know that every reference, you can't look me in the eye and say that it isn't slow at times. So, especially compared to more modern literature where it's just breakneck pace is so important. Overall, 10 out of 5. It's a perfect book. It's the perfect book. However, my experience reading it on vacation and in Ireland, I'm trying to, not everybody gets to read it in Ireland. it was such a unique experience that I can't really give it a fair thing. But if I do, you know, the math, it's going to get a 4, which feels fair. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3. It's a book everybody should read in their life, whether you like it or not. And seeing it be Dublin was insane. And they say, like, you could rebuild the city with this book, and I kind of agree. Like, I don't know to what degree, because obviously it's changed, but the work and the wit and the geography and the history, and I read somewhere that he didn't even write it while he was there, and that's insane to me. But it's just such a beautiful book that it feels like a human. It's so nuanced, and I'm in love with it. And it's also one of those books where I can't wait to read it again once I finish reading stuff that's a little lighter and more fun, because it's magic. It really is. And the book gets better with you, is what I've heard and how I felt reading it. So that's why I'm excited to work on it some more, but it demands a lot of you. So it just sort of has to do with how you feel about books that demand a lot of the reader and are trying to sort of do more than entertain you the way we're used to being entertained in modern literature. So that's my 2 cents on that. Read it.